film. 18 minutes to 9. Thursday morning, around this time, we check in with BBC CWR movie critic Stratford upon Avon. James Luxford is with us again this morning. Hey, James.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us again this morning. Before we get your good, bad and on demand, I know you actually managed to get to the RSC on Tuesday night, didn't you, for its first night of its new production?
Yes, I went to a dress rehearsal in the RSC's new outdoor theatre just ahead of Comedy of Errors opening this week. It was for my wife's work. They needed audiences to sort of get the feel of what it would be like with people in there. But I feel very lucky to have seen it. The theatre looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of, I don't know how you call it, sort of open air, in the round kind of feel, and right by the river. It's just something else. I think, having been away from sort of live events for so long, I mean, for me, it's about coming up on 2 years, I suppose, particularly with theatre. It was just great seeing live performances again, to see the actors and hear the river in the background. It's not like anything I thought I'd see, but it was just terrific.
They've named it the Manfred and Lydia Gorvey Garden Theatre on the banks of the River Avon. Is it like an old school amphitheatre, or is it? Yeah,
it's got an element of an amphitheatre. I'm no theatre expert. It's more my wife's field, but it's sort of an amphitheatre. It's sort of towered over by the main RSC building, which is very romantic, sort of behind the stage, and has the river to the side. And I think. Look, we were out there on a sunny day. I'm not sure what it would be like when it begins to sort of start trickling down. But I'm told that the actors won't stop until it becomes sort of impossible to do so with the rain. So I think in all weathers, I think if you've been missing theatre, I'm starting to sound like an advert now. But
it's good. You're selling it, James. You're selling it.
If you've been missing it like I have, I think it's a really nice way to do it.
Good stuff. We did have its theatre director on the programme yesterday, artistic director on the programme yesterday, talking about the current production of Comedy of Errors, which runs there in the open air until September, at least. If you've got a ticket for that this weekend, the weather looks glorious. It's going to be a perfect setting for that. But from the theatre to the movies, James, you're good, you're bad, you're on demand for this week. Let's start with the good, shall we?
My good this week is the Croods A New Age. Nicolas Cage and Emma Stone star in an animated sequel about a family of cavemen who find new friends who aren't all they seem.
I thought cave people died off years ago.
We happy meet you. Thanks.
Oh. We are the Bettermans.
Better man?
Emphasis on the better.
Is that your home? Kind of big, isn't it?
Yeah, you can hear Nicolas Cage obviously in there. I remember seeing the first Croods and thought it was like a poor man's Ice Age. I don't know whether that was kind of a good way of describing it or not. What's this one like?
I think it was good fun. I know I take what you mean about the first film. There is a lot of overlap with films like Ice Age. And I wouldn't say this sort of, appropriately for cavemen, I wouldn't say this reinvents the wheel. But
very clever.
It is from the same studio as Shrek and Kung Fu Panda, and has some of that humour that will appeal to the grown-ups as well as kids. There's a lot of sort of jokes about gentrification and things like that, but also enough sort of simple humour for little ones to appreciate and be entertained by. It's not terribly original, but it is a lot of fun. It's got a good voice cast, as you say there. Nicolas Cage and Peter Dinklage, you heard there, as one of the couple they meet along their travels. I think it's something that will keep everyone entertained for an hour and a half in the cinema. Probably not stay in the memory much longer than that, but I think for a good family film, it'll do the job.
out in movies, cinemas this weekend. And, of course, with the summer holidays in mind, might be something for you. James's good recommendation, Croods 2. What's your bad one to avoid?
My bad this week, available to buy or rent from Monday, is Music. Pop star Sia directs this musical about a woman who has to care for her young sister who is on the autism spectrum.
Dear Kazoo, there's no money. There is, however, a magical little girl, your sister. All she's got now is you.
She can understand everything you are saying to her. And if you are happy, press this one.
I am sad.
Very funny, troublemaker. She sees the world in a completely different way from us.
We're about to have a pool party.
I am happy.
Well, we know Sia from hits like Titanium with David Guetta, but what's she like on the cinema screen?
I'm afraid it's probably not quite the same as a director as she is a pop star. I dislike this a lot. I think the portrayal of autism in this film is a little bit outdated and stereotypical. Certain films, I think we never really recovered from things like Rain Man and that, which while was an Oscar-winning movie, sort of I think set a standard for the way autism is portrayed in cinema, which isn't always the most helpful or accurate. And for me, just generally, it is quite a poorly put together story. Never quite comes together and feels a bit misguided. For me, it's certainly one to miss.
That's James's bad, a good, a bad, and an on-demand. So where we go for our on-demand choice?
On all four now, it's John Wick Chapter 3. Keanu Reeves returns as Hitman John Wick as he finds himself the target of, well, pretty much everyone in his industry.
A $14 million bounty on his head. And everyone in the city wants a piece of it. I say the odds are about even. Doc, 5 seconds.
John Wick, excommunicado in effect in 3,
2,
1.
and away we go.
I wasn't sure about the whole idea of the John Wick series when it came out. I just thought, it's going to be Keanu Reeves doing The Matrix all over again. But it's very different, isn't it?
It really is, and I really enjoy this. I think great modern action movies are a bit few and far between in the style of sort of the 80s and 90s action films. And this really reminds me of those. One of those ones that you can just throw on and really enjoy. Keanu Reeves is great. The action is non-stop. Part 4 is coming this year. I'm really looking forward to it, which you don't often say for a fourth installment in a movie. But I think it's just a formula that wins over and over again. There is something to him being just this unstoppable hitman, and I think there's something about this story and this character that keeps people coming back. And I think John Wick Chapter 3 is a really good film to throw on if you're on a Saturday, if you just want something that's really going to entertain you.
All four, if you want to catch up with John Wick Chapter 3. James's on-demand pick for this weekend. Any plans in the sunshine this weekend, James?
No, just I think just enjoying the sunshine. Yeah, I think last weekend was a bit up and down with the football on Sunday, so I think just something a bit more relaxed.
and less tense. I think we'd all take that, wouldn't we? Good to hear from you, James, and thanks for joining us again this morning. James Luxford with movie picks for this weekend, the good, the bad, and the on-demand, and, of course, a little theatre review as well thrown in there for you as well, if you happen to be headed off down to the RSC this weekend for their open-air productions of Comedy of Errors.
Drama on BBC One.